Yeah,
Uh,
hey, how's it going?
As long as we can see you, that's all that matters. Yeah, good. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Thank you so much for doing this. I know you deep in fight camp, so you probably needed all the break that you get on a Sunday. But thank you so much for doing this. How was your training week this week? This week?
Yeah, crazy, really. Yeah, it's sort of heated up now, sort of big sessions this week. But yeah, so it'd be nice to sit down for a little bit because I've got ants in my pants. I can't sit still for anything.
Is it do you find it troubling relaxing because obviously your body's
Oh,
always gonna
yeah,
go. Yeah, yeah. It's hard to switch off, isn't
massively. My partner reckons I've got ADHD. I'm undiagnosed, but
You're diagnosing yourself.
I think she's diagnosing me. Yeah.
I think before we get into the training questions and the next fight, so on, I think it'll be really good for just us and the audience to hear a little bit about your background, Hannah. So how'd you get into the fight game and your martial art journey? If you could just talk about that a little bit, please.
Yeah, of course. So I came really late to Thai boxing, to any martial arts. It was just before my 25th birthday.
Right.
I went down to the Bod Company, like beginners class, like it was I think it was 6 sessions, like learn how to do it. My friend from work suggested I went because I was getting really bored off with like going to the gym and doing weights. Do loads
Mm.
of rowing and at university. So yeah, he said, "Why don't you go try it?" So I did, and here we are, fallen in love with it. But I was supposed to go traveling in the September, and well, yeah, do what traveling you do when you go traveling, and do loads of
Mm.
places and go to loads of places. But I just ended up going to the Thai boxing gym and staying there for 3 months. So
Oh, wow.
learned all the basics and everything there.
It's
And
like a
I think I just got
complete beginner.
addicted to it.
Yeah, was
Yeah,
it?
complete.
I wonder what it was about the sport that you liked. Was it a case of you watching it, or did you know much about it before you started going to the class, or
I
was it
didn't know
just?
anything about it.
Mm,
Didn't know anything about it. I still find it funny, like in my saved videos. I've got like Imam Barlow, like was like the first person I'd heard of, and
mm,
like saved and things like that. But I didn't know anything about Thai boxing. And I've got a really addictive personality. I think immediately that was it. It was
mm.
just
Yeah, okay.
hooked. Yeah.
So when was the? How long into your training did you have your first fight?
It was a year, so that was like the September. And then I stayed in Thailand for a few months. I came back and started training over here at Kier Pontip because I was at the Kier Pontip Bangkok gym.
Mm.
One of my friends at the time, LJ Coleman, was there, and I was messaging him, and he was like, "Come try Kier Pontip." So went there, and once I got back and was training, it worked out about a year first to my first fight.
And do you remember the feeling of the first fight? Were you really nervous, excited? How'd you feel?
Oh gosh, I think yeah, I'll have been really nervous.
Mm.
Excited, yeah, excited, nervous. It was so long ago now. That was 9 years ago now. So
Yeah. So obviously 9 years. It's been 9 years of competing, and now you had your first fight and one championship recently.
yeah, that
Um,
was February. Mm.
February, yeah. So, talk to me about that transition from going as a starting as a 25-year-old and getting to basically the highest level of the sport. What dedication, what kind of training? At which point did you start taking it serious and wanted to take it this far? Do you remember when the switch was?
I think there's been two parts to it. So I think I immediately took it really seriously, like with my diet, training, everything. I've just sort of like lived my life by it. I'll have occasional breaks here and there. Um, and but generally it's been like injury. That's the only time I'll take any time off. And then it was 2021. I just sort of like lost the love for it a little bit. And
Mm,
I was gonna quit. And sort of like in this sport, that's sort of a bad if you continue while your heart's like not in it. I was kind of like in a difficult place with that. But I managed to find the love for it later on that year.
mm,
My dad passed away, and I found out like before a weigh-in. I just took a fight on 2 weeks' notice. In fact, you've had Hadika on. I've fought Hadika, and it was on 2 weeks' notice. And
yeah.
at the weigh-ins, I found out my dad had died, and something switched since then. And maybe I've been doing it for him a little bit.
Mm,
I've just been like my mindset's totally changed. So I think I had a dip, but
Hmm.
feeling
Was
so much
he
better now.
was he super supportive of your career?
What, so say that again?
Was he supportive of your career and involved in your
Yeah,
fight?
he'd come to any fights that he could. I
Hmm.
mean, he lived in France, and then he did move to Thailand for a little bit. But yeah, he'd make the time to come to them no matter where he was in the world. So
So
yeah.
you must have competed very often to get to that place that you are now. How many amateur fights or professional fights do you have if you could remember the amateurs?
Well, amateur as in like C class.
Yeah.
I didn't have any N class with shin pads. I just went straight into C class, and I probably had about, I don't know, 10, 15 or something. And
Mm.
they were like B class. I think my first A class fight was Dakota on Yokkao. And then that's when the A class fight sort of started, and we're on fight 27 at the minute. I've not had
Mm.
that many fights, but
I mean, 27 is
yeah, it's getting there
good.
now. It's sort of
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Good to hit the hundreds.
Oh
Uh,
my god, no. Oh god.
so what was the experience like of fighting on one championship?
Oh yeah, it was really like surreal, and like totally nerve-wracking. Like you just get looked after so well, and it's like totally different. I mean, it's like a lot different to fighting in England in a sports hall.
Mhm.
um,
And what was
so
that one? What was that event?
where was the event?
Mm.
Oh,
Where, where,
in Bangkok.
oh yes, nice.
Yeah,
And have
lucky.
you fought in Thailand out there before? Was that your first time?
No, not my first time. My second fight, I fought in Thailand in
Mm.
Phuket. I've had a few here and there because I think collectively I've sort of stayed at the Bangkok gym about 9 months in total. So I've had quite a long couple of long stints in Thailand where I fought a few guys.
And you've been with the same team pretty much for 9 years. You must have had
Yeah.
bunch of fellas coming in and out of that gym. I just had Adam on earlier, and he was basically singing your praises. So it must be really good to train with
Oh,
people of kind of level. You must have known him for a long time, right?
yeah.
The
Yeah,
other
he's a good lad.
thing I wanted
And like, yeah, he
yeah,
comes out. And
sorry, I think there's some sort of delay in the
there's a lag,
with
isn't there? Wait a minute.
yeah.
Let's swap my internet.
Yeah,
We're
we're
back.
back.
We're back.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, it was a bit of a lag. So talk to me about your training now. So how does your training differ for this fight? Have you done anything differently? Do you have like a game plan or approach is exactly the same as before?
Oh, generally, it's just focusing on sort of myself and my strengths and just training to the best of my ability. Not
Mm,
One doesn't generally give sort of like game plans. Uh,
mm.
the last on one championship when I went to Thailand, I trained with Liam out there, and he had a game plan, so we sort of just worked that. So I'm yeah unsure as yet.
Do you watch videos or study opponents, or you don't bother either?
I've started to a little bit now, especially with like knowing who potentially might be coming up.
Yeah.
And I've never really done that, so I'm yeah trying something different.
Do you know much about your opponent?
Yeah, sort of had my eye on her, and thought that that would come up. So yeah, I've seen her on one championship. So obviously I can't drop the name, but it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. Do you
Yeah.
uh, do you have any short-term goals, for example, the things that you want to achieve by next year? And ultimately, I want the question to lead to what's your ultimate goal in the sport? What is it that you want to achieve that will fully satisfy you in the sport?
To be honest, winning the WBC European, I was that and getting on one championship was my goal at the time. And we sort of met that now. I think like the world WBC belt would be nice to add to the collection. Um, but ultimately, at the minute, it's about getting the contract on one. So
Yeah,
that's and fighting in Singapore. That's my goal at the minute.
Do you
Um,
have any dream matchups?
I mean, I'd love to fight similar.
Mm.
Yeah.
And talk to me a little bit about your training methods in terms of like, do you do anything outside of just Thai boxing? Do you have any boxing coaches? Do you do SNC sessions?
Yeah.
How is the structure of your training laid out just close to the fight?
Yeah. I mean, so we have like on camp and off camp, I guess, and I'm doing S&C throughout, generally twice a week, with Nat here in Leeds. And I added my boxing coach in, Nick Manners, start of the year. So I'm doing boxing once, twice a week, as well as doing my Thai boxing and then my strength. So it's hard to fit it all in, to be honest.
Mm.
I work a full-time job as well.
Oh,
Um,
do you?
I'm a software developer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And do you have time to coach as well? Because I know lots of fighters do bits of PTs and stuff like that. Do you coach at all?
I've just started Holly, Peter's daughter. Just started training her, but generally I just don't really have any time. But
I mean, if you're working full time when you're training as a professional
yeah.
athlete, that's crazy. So, what does a typical day look like for you? What time do you get off, and what time do you
Oh,
sleep?
yeah. So alarm's on for 6. I'll either go run, do my strength, or something in the morning. Or at the minute I've started doing ice baths, which is wow, it's been like a game changer for everything. But I'll do that and then I'll work 8 hours and then that's it, straight to training. Get there sort of like 6 o'clock and then I'll be home 8 o'clock, half 8. It depends. Sometimes classes are at 6, sometimes they're at 7. It's just eat, shower, bed
Yeah,
on repeat.
it's very hard to find that balance, but I guess if you have like a good structure
Zero
in
balance.
place, you'll be able to train at least to keep up with the routine if you have some sort of plan in place.
Yeah.
How long can you stay in the ice bath at this point?
Um,
Because when I started doing it, it takes so long to get into it. Like it takes a lot of balls to do it.
Yeah. Well, we got a green bin and stuck it in the garden, and I've tried it a couple of times. But we've joined a gym now, and they've got one in there. But I've been doing 2 minutes. I think I'm going to up it to 3 minutes this week.
Yeah, I mean 2 minutes is good.
Yeah, it's all right.
Uh, yeah, when I do mine, I don't put any ice in it. I'm at the stage of just like having really, really cold water, so no actual ice yet.
You know what temperature it is?
I don't know, but it's freaking cold. Like
Oh,
it's
it's cold enough.
I think it's cold enough.
Well, this
Um,
one's 5 degrees, but it doesn't sound like it's cold, is it? 5 degrees, but it is cold.
yeah, especially if you're doing outside in the bin. In the
Oh, but this one isn't though. This one's inside.
bin.
Straight to the sauna.
Um, so talk to me a little bit about just your life in general. Is there something that outside of your work and outside of training that you're really into? Because any interviews that you get, especially at the show, it's all going to be about your fight and whatnot. So I
Yeah.
want to the conversation a little bit. What I've got here, I've got like a bunch of random questions that I'm going to go through. And I think it'll be good just to get to know you a little bit. But let's start with that. Is there anything that's interesting you outside of sports? So what's your other hobbies outside of like just fighting? Because obviously you
Um,
spend so much time in the sport, like it's hard to focus on other things.
yeah, totally. So I like snowboarding. Up
Nice.
until starting Thai boxing, I snowboarded every year since I was 11. So it's been Thailand rather than snowboarding at the minute, but we're booked to go next year, so I'm probably going to get a few extra sessions in
What's your,
snowboarding.
what's your go-to place? Where is it?
We always go to France because my dad lived in France, but we're going Teen, Val d'Isère.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
it's gonna be epic. So I need to get some snowboarding in. But
I've only been to I've never snowboarded, but I've been to skiing. I've been twice.
yeah,
I've only just got good at skiing.
it's
And I see
different.
yeah, when I see the people on snowboard, and like I did it was so cool. Like I wish I could do it, but now I feel like if I was to learn, I'm gonna basically waste a couple of trips, just trying to learn and just keep falling on my ass.
Yeah,
So I've been just
it's
focusing
easier to
on
stand up skiing, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. That's super cool. So any so it's skiing that you do outside of fighting, which is at least I feel like that makes you just sound like an adrenaline junkie because you like to higher. Is that a fact?
It's true. Yeah, I've skydived a couple of times as well. I'd definitely do that again.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, um, I lost train of thought now. But yeah, snowboarding and just like I like playing football. I played football from being like 9 years old to being 14.
Mm.
But then I found sort of like drinking and smoking. So
Yeah,
it was like 10,
that usually happens.
yeah, it was like 10 years when I found Thai boxing, so that's quite good. But
Yeah.
um I like playing football. But I did play like five-a-side a couple of years ago, and the first match I did my MCL in, so I daren't go near football at the minute. So
Yeah. That's crazy. I think you're the third person I've had on a podcast saying that they picked up nasty injuries from football.
oh yeah, it's bad. So
Yeah.
I avoid it, but I love it. But
Yeah,
oh,
my fighters are not allowed to play football when they get
yeah.
fights. It's nasty. Who's your favorite athlete of all time? It could be a fighter, it could be a footballer, it could be just an athlete in general. Someone that you looked up to, or maybe perhaps still look up to.
Oh, I don't know who I looked up to anymore. I remember when I first started, there's this like female bodybuilder called Christmas Abbott, and she just looked amazing. And I remember thinking, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
Like her body was insane.
Is that
Um,
when you started going to the gym and
yeah,
picking up stuff? Is that so? That was your like bread and butter, just trying to get strong.
yeah, looked like
Hmm.
ripped and everything. Yeah, yeah.
Um, a bit of a random one, this one. If you were to punch any celebrity in the face, who would it be?
I want to punch a celebrity. You know what? My brain just went to Joey Essex immediately, but I can't remember why I thought that. That's just
It's
what
too
my brain said.
innocent.
Some
Oh,
reality TV star.
yeah. I think it's got to be one of those at least, right? It has to be a reality TV stuff.
Yeah, or Biden. He's the second
Uh,
one at the minute.
oh man, it looks like you're taking too many punches. Okay, so if you had to go to dinner with any celebrity, it could be dead or alive, someone that you just like to sit with and have a conversation with.
Hmm. Oh, I don't know, but now my brain works in a weird way because now I have an answer for the previous one. Um, who would I like to go to dinner with? Dead or alive? Oh, maybe like I don't know, Raymond Deckers or something like that.
That'd be
I'm
cool.
thinking fighting stuff, aren't I? But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, he's awesome. I think he's one probably be my dream person to train with or just like to learn from. He's just an absolute animal.
yeah.
What's your favorite food? But let's change the question to your favorite food else after you're done from a fight. What do you like to eat?
Oh, I'm really boring. I'll just eat some Thai food.
Yeah.
I just can't get enough of it. Um, or like those pancakes, the rotis.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, pancakes. Anything with Biscoff on it.
yeah. Mm.
Oh,
Are
yeah,
you on a strict diet at the moment?
yeah, yeah.
Mm. And do you usually cut a lot of weight for your fights?
Not really. I think because at the start of the year, um, I've been doing loads of weights, and then I injured my Achilles. I wasn't allowed to. I couldn't run.
Mm.
Running seems to keep the pounds off, so I bulked up quite a bit. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I've got a sweet tooth, so
So talk to me about the injury you mentioned with the MCL you said you torn. What was the pain like and what was the recovery like? It sounds like a career-threatening injury almost.
I did it. So the football one, I did it a couple of years ago, and then that put me out for a few months, which
Mm.
wasn't too bad because generally over the summer I'm sort of quieter on fights. But that took a while because it's like your MCL. It's like when you kick inwards, isn't it? So every time I catch and sweep, oh, that was used to be like the most painful thing. And then just before my WBC fight earlier this year, the gym was really busy, and some boy had grabbed a guy's leg and it piled into me sideways.
Oh,
I re-sprained it
oh,
just
wow.
before I fought Irony, 10 days before the fight.
Mm.
So
You're all good now. It's ready
all
to
good
go.
now. Yeah. Touch wood, this is like first time all year I've not had any injuries.
Yeah, because the knees is a weird one, isn't it? You could just step a wrong way and it starts to like go back
Yeah.
to injury
And the
again.
paranoia of it, like it's so important, your knees.
It's interesting that you said you're a bit more quiet in the summer. So would you say you prefer training in the winter, or is it just a lifestyle change? Or
Yeah, my birthday's in sort of July. I always have a couple of weeks off for that.